Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this and nothing more." All distinctly I remember it was the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books a curse of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entrance at my chamber door. This it is and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," I said, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal had ever dared dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and no echo murmured back the word Lenore, merely this and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is someone at my window lattice. Let me see then what there is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flutter, is there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but when mine lord of lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of polish just above my chamber door, perched and sat, nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad face into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Through thy crest be shorn, and shout thou, raven," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore? Tell me what that lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above its chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, which set this name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if its soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather then he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends have flown before. On the moor he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, who a merciful disaster followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of hope that melancholy bore. Oh, nevermore!" But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I willed a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet seeking, I betook myself to linking fancy upon fancy, thinking what this omniscient bird of yore, what this grin, a gainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, "Nevermore." This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and I more sat a divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining, the lamp that lighted gloated o'er. But those whose velvet lining with the lamp lighted gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose feet footfalls tinkled on the tuffled floor. Wretched, I cried, thy God had lent thee, by the angels he had seen thee, respite, respite, and epiphany from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of faith and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether temper sent or whether temper tossed thee here ashore. Desolate, yes, undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore. Is there balm of Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore. Tell us this soul with sorrow, laden if with distant Aden, it shall clasp with Satan maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or friend, I shrieked up starting. Get thee back into the tempest of the night Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as token of that lie thy show hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit thy bust above my door. Take thy beak from thy heart, and take form from off the door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never floated, still a sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes of all of seeming of the demons that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him steaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.